Another thing about Dragon kits is, should you choose models with pre-cut tracks, or should you choose DS one-piece tracks, which are malleable, like this. Very reminiscent of Tamiya, but apparently made from a different material. Dragon are the only ones I know to make DS tracks, and they are supposedly a mix between plastic and vinyl, as opposed to the old Tamiya pure vinyl tracks. A common argument against DS is inaccurate track sag, but in my opinion, this can be fixed by gluing it in the right position, at least on Tigers. This is ironically a paper Tiger, but as you can see, we have the bend all the way down to the third wheel, which from my understanding is accurate. To me, this is an example of a realistic track sag done with DS vinyl. It should be noted that vehicles such as the Panzer IV did not necessarily have sag, depending on the condition. You may prefer track sag visually, but what I gather from a picture such as this is track sag does not have to be there. It can be there, and it does look cool, especially for battle-worn vehicles in need of maintenance. On Stück 3 and 4, as well as Panzer 3 and 4, the DS tracks sit tightly and do not recreate sag by themselves. You can see the DS track on the other side actually strained so much that it did break. When I built this model, and yes, I know it's the wrong shade of gray, the DS track originally would sit pretty tight on this Stück 3 Ausführung A. And on both sides it did actually break because of the strain. Beware when you build these kinds of models from Dragon that maybe you need to make it as loose as possible. Maybe I could have done a better job with the idler wheels. They're usually somewhat flexible in placement on these models. Individual DS prints, they are known to fail and disintegrate, and these are examples of this. This is from the Dragon kit number 6600. In both copies of the kits that I bought, DS track solidified, so you can break it, it cracks. This single pack in both kits went bad after the double pack. So it signifies to me some kind of manufacturing issue with this particular model perhaps, or this particular batch. Reports on the product failure of DS vary greatly. I have bought around 50 to 60 Dragon kits with DS tracks, most of them pre-owned by private sellers, and only the two Tiger 1 Leningrad initials, the product number 6600, have failed on me so far. They've all been kept, at least since I bought them, in the same storage environment, which is colder during winter and hotter during summer, so there are temperature shifts involved without it necessarily destroying DS tracks apparently. The ones I showed you just before are from a kit I'm building and have been building for years, but that's another topic. Let's not get into that. 6820, which came out roughly around the same time as the 6600, and those vinyl tracks I have found to be just fine. So it does indicate to me that it could be manufacturing issues with certain batches. It would also fit with reports on the product failure if DS tracks varying greatly. Others state in forums that almost all or simply all their DS is ruined, while others still report maybe 1 in 4 built models going bad on them. It is very difficult to get a clear picture, and I certainly don't know the cause. Two obvious possibilities are that individual batches are flawed, or the DS have in some cases been stored in conditions unfavorable to them.